Monday to you. Thanks for joining me. I hope you had a great weekend, and I trust it was refreshing and that you were able to find a church either in person or digitally to be able to grow in your relationship with the Lord. Well, today it's Monday morning, and we're going to start a new devotional time of looking at the names of God. So this morning we're going to be in Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. I think we're going to run this about 2 weeks. It's something I like to do, and about every 2 weeks, change it up and give us something new to look at. So you can tune in each day to learn about the names of God. We're in Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. So I'll give you a minute to get there, and I'll set up this study. The thing I want to drive home is that a person's name is the greatest connection to their own identity or their individuality. Some might say it's the most important word to that person. It can be one of the ways we can easily get someone's attention. Sometimes when we're walking through the store and one of the girls yell dad, there's two, three, four, five men that turn around. But when someone hollers Tom, only one person turns around. If it's me, that only has the name of Tom. And the name, it's a sign of courtesy and a way of recognizing them. So it's a good opportunity for us to know who is God. But the question I have is, who is God? We can know him. We hear about God all the time. But what does his name tell us about his identity? In the Hebrew Bible, there are different names of God. And when we translate it into the English Bible, we usually translate it either God or Lord. Sometimes you see it Lord, big L, little o, little r, little d. Sometimes you see it capitalized Lord. And sometimes you see it with a big L and then ORD that are capitalized, but they're in the smaller caps. Each one of those lords means something different. And today we're going to begin to look at the different names of God and what they can do to help our relationship with God, because God has a name. And that name is the greatest connection to his identity and what he can do and has done. So by now you should be in Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. The name we're going to learn about God today is Elohim. The name Elohim means the all-powerful one or the creator. You see, God is all-powerful. He made the universe. In the Christian world, we have three names that we call God, or three characteristics of God should be said better. There's the omnis. He is omniscient, which means he knows all. He is omnipotent, which means that he created all. And then he is omnipresent, which means that God is everywhere at all times. Those omnis are within this name of Elohim because he is the all-powerful one. There is nothing created that God did not create himself. Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 3 talk about the creation of the world. They talk about how God created it, and he created it with his spoken word. That is how strong God's spoken word is. We believe that he created it all just by speaking it, and it was there. And just imagine how strong and powerful God's written word is, what we call the Bible. And we've studied that in the previous weeks, but that is how strong God's word is to put all this creation into existence. That is the Elohim, one name of God. We cannot go anywhere where there is not God's presence. Psalm 137, verses 7 through 10 says, I can go nowhere to escape your spirit. I can never escape your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go to heaven, you are there. If I go to the grave, you are there. God knows all, God created all, and God is everywhere at the same time. Now, if you're sitting here looking at this, you go, that's hard to understand. It is, because God is so much greater than we are, and he is so much more powerful than we are. He is the Elohim, the all-powerful one, the creator. So what can we learn about God and the name Elohim? Well, God is the creator of the universe. He is the one that spoke creation into existence. His word is that powerful that it created everything we see, hear, and experience. God is big enough to be everywhere. He can be with me here in Heartland, Maine, and yet he can be with someone else over in the Mideast. He can be with someone in California. He can be with someone in Texas. He is everywhere at the same time. God is that big. He is that powerful. He is that Elohim. Yet God sees each one of us. He loves each one of us and he desires a relationship with one of us. He's done all he can within his power to create that relationship by sending Jesus. We need to be able to accept that gift. The all powerful one, the one who created the universe, he desires a relationship with me. And he can do that because he is Elohim, the all powerful one. I hope you go back and read Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 3, and read that with new and fresh insight, saying, God is so powerful. He is the all powerful one, Elohim. I hope you have a great morning, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning for round 2 of the names of God. Have a great Monday.